The U.S. memory market has found a new savior, and the global memory chip landscape is about to be rewritten. Every quarter, when Counterpoint releases the market share figures for CXMT and YMTC, it's truly a satisfying sight. The growth is visible, expectations feel tangible, and the charts are a pleasure to behold. In the DRAM sector, CXMT maintains its global fourth-place position with an 8% market share. Looking at the full year of 2025, the share lost by SK Hynix and Micron was split evenly between CXMT and Samsung. Amid this wave of DRAM price hikes and market reshuffling, CXMT not only kept pace, but, with its high-performance DDR5 and HBM, completely left Taiwan-based Nanya and Winbond in the dust. In the 3D NAND market, YMTC's rapid advance is even more exhilarating. IT has not only caught up with SanDisk, Micron, and Kioxia, but is now just one step away from SK Hynix. Last year, YMTC launched an all-out IP war against Micron, forcing Micron onto the back foot even on its home turf. In the U.S., where it had to hide behind national security as a shield against California court rulings. With momentum on its side, YMTC pressed its advantage by filing patent lawsuits against Micron in 4 jurisdictions worldwide, a triumphant pursuit. Riding the wave of soaring memory prices, CXMT quickly recouped capital and expanded capacity. Although its investment scale has increased compared with Samsung's traditional counter-cyclical expansion, without enough capacity, growth is impossible. Moreover, domestic demand is ravenous, and overseas demand is rising by the day. CXMT cannot afford to miss this opportunity, but Samsung and SK Hynix are not standing still. Samsung has pushed its DRAM node below 10 nanometers for the first time. Although mass production has not yet begun, its momentum is fierce. Both Samsung and SK Hynix have completed development and sampling of HBM4, stirring the DRAM waters once again. All this creates tremendous pressure for China's DRAM manufacturers and end customers. YMTC faces a similar situation. Samsung is advancing mass production of 400-layer 3D NAND and has completed prototype development of 900-layer NAND. SK Hynix has finished development of its 375-layer NAND, with mass production imminent, and is also preparing to mass-produce HBF, positioned to replace AI NAND. Therefore, YMTC cannot rest easy with its 294-layer NAND. Sustained R&D investment is needed to seize the high-end market. For years, advanced memory and advanced logic chips have plagued the Chinese market. Consumers still vividly remember times when power outages or fires were used as excuses to jack up prices. And for B2B enterprise customers, the pain cuts even deeper. In the AI era, the memory wall is the performance bottleneck for AI chips. Without reliable domestic memory support, the foreseeable future looks like this. Factory capacity pre-booked entirely by giants like NVIDIA and AMD, persistently high prices, and uncertainty from export bans. That is the hellish supply chain facing China's domestic AI chips. This year, CXMT's DDR5 has entered Corsair's supply chain, and YMTC has announced its return to the South Korean market, attacking Samsung and SK Hynix right in their backyard. The direct international push by these two memory champions signals China's ambition to leave its comfort zone and compete for the global high-end market. Moreover, YMTC is not content with its achievements in 3D NAND. It is entering LPDDR5 and HBM to fill domestic market gaps. In summary, China's twin memory champions have achieved impressive results. Against a backdrop of global memory shortages, they have not only held their ground but also delivered results in high-end products. Yet, sailing against the current means falling behind if you don't push forward. Samsung and SK hynix, unlike the unambitious sluggard Micron, are formidable rivals. Only by going all out can they reach the finish line. The game isn't over. The second half promises to be even more thrilling. Corsair, a veteran DIY memory brand, has started using Chinese-made chips. Recently, enthusiasts tore down a new batch of Corsair Vengeance DDR5 and found that the silkscreen markings clearly pointed to CXMT. For a company that has been making high-end memory for over a decade, to put domestic chips into its mainstream product line sends a crystal-clear signal to China's memory industry. For nearly 2 decades, the global DRAM market has been ruled by 3 players: Samsung, SK hynix, and Micron, whose combined share has long exceeded 90%. The remaining crumbs were divided among Taiwan-based second-tier makers like Nanya and Winbond. It was a highly concentrated oligopoly. But recently, cracks have appeared. Gross margins on HBM and server DDR5 are far higher than consumer memory. So Samsung, SK hynix, and Micron have all prioritized advanced capacity for data center customers. Consumer DDR5 and DDR4 supply has been continually squeezed, driving channel prices higher. The spot price of a 16 GB DDR5 stick has nearly doubled over the past year, while DDR4 prices have inverted on expectations of discontinuation. On one side, AI is gobbling up capacity. On the other, DIY users are cursing the price hikes. This supply-demand gap is exactly the window through which Chinese chips are pushing in. Founded in Hefei in 2016, CXMT is currently the only company in China with mass-produced DRAM. Without EUV lithography, it navigated 17 nanometers using mature DUV equipment and has now moved to mass production with its 16 nanometers G4 process. Notably, CXMT's DDR5 chips have passed certification with multiple memory module brands. According to public data, its global DRAM market share is around 8%, surpassing Nanya technology and making it the most important supplier after the big 3. Domestic brands followed quickly. Glowy, its ePro series explicitly marks the use of CXMT chips. King Bank, the Assassin, and Silver Duke series introduced CXMT-based DDR5. Asgard and Kushu followed suit with domestic chip models. However, these were all absorbed within domestic brands. Corsair's adoption marks the first true going overseas moment. It's worth noting that Corsair is extremely strict about chip screening. Its Vengeance series is the volume backbone in the DIY market, and the Vengeance RGB Pro is a staple for mid to high-end gaming. The fact that this product line dares to use CXMT shows that CXMT's chips have met or surpassed mainstream consumer-grade requirements in frequency, timings, and stability. According to earlier foreign media reports, some commercial PCs and entry-level workstations from HP and Dell have also completed certification for CXMT chips. The logic is simple. Someone has to do the work the big 3 are unwilling to do. Consumer memory has low margins, but high shipment volumes. Overseas manufacturers prioritizing AI customers leads to unstable channel supply and wild price swings, which is disastrous for module makers. Introducing CXMT as a second or even third supply source is an instinctive move for self-preservation. For budget-conscious DIY users, The large-scale rollout of domestic chips means two things. First, channel supply will become more stable, and the extreme DDR5 shortages may ease. Second, prices for mid- and low-frequency memory sticks will be suppressed, so mainstream kits below 6,000 MHz won't keep skyrocketing to high-frequency sticks, 7,200 MHz and above. And overclocking memories still mainly rely on SK hynix A die and M die. Domestic chips need more time to conquer extreme overclocking for regular PC builds and mainstream gaming needs. Domestic chips are already good enough. Whether the AI boom can further tear open the overseas market for Chinese memory remains uncertain, but the decade-plus era of the three foreign giants' unchallenged rule has definitely come to an end. June 6th news. Currently, global memory chip prices continue to surge wildly. Many industry observers had hoped that leading domestic memory makers CXMT and YMTC could rapidly expand capacity and use ample supply to drive inflated memory prices down. Now, it appears that expectations should not be set too high. During Computex Taipei 2026, several major memory module makers told foreign media outlet WuKtech that the purchase price of CXMT's DDR5 chips is not significantly lower than overseas competitors, as previously anticipated. Actual pricing is basically in the same range as comparable products from Samsung, SK hynix, and Micron, without any obvious price advantage. Many module industry insiders explicitly pointed out that CXMT's core competitive edge right now is not low prices, as everyone assumed, but its stable and reliable supply capability. Currently, this domestic manufacturer's capacity is not heavily booked by AI-related enterprises, so it can free up more production resources for the high-demand traditional consumer DRAM market. Multiple memory module makers are now conducting compatibility and stability verification tests on finished memory products equipped with CXMT DDR5 chips. Initial products with domestic chips will mainly target the entry-level market, with sales coverage prioritizing the Chinese domestic market, after the chip quality and overall product maturity further improve. Related products will gradually enter the global supply system and be sold to more overseas users in addition to product characteristics. Industry insiders also pointed out obvious differences in business strategy between CXMT and overseas manufacturers. Currently, many global memory giants have imposed harsh supply thresholds, requiring key customers to prepay large sums just to secure additional supply quotas, leaving many small and medium module makers unable to obtain sufficient sources. In contrast, CXMT currently does not impose such prepayment lock-in conditions on its partners, offering much greater flexibility in order scheduling and daily supply response. Even earlier, digital bloggers discovered through teardowns that the latest batch of Corsair Vengeance DDR5 memory sticks from the well-known overseas brand already uses CXMT DRAM chips, with specifications of DDR5-6000, timings 36-44-44-96, and operating voltage 1.35 V. This is the first publicly known case of a top-tier overseas memory brand officially adopting CXMT's self-developed chips.